everybody, and welcome to the Grand Prix review. And let me kick off straight away by saying, yes, we are live. Yes, we are on Monday. It's the triple header. We've moved the schedules. We're back on our usual Sunday slot from the Singapore Grand Prix onwards as well, bar the races in America, Mexico as well, because they're on so late at night that if we did the review show, it probably wouldn't work. But hello, everybody. Hello to Josh, who says hey, and hello to Joe Samiego as well, who says hello, 601, congrats as well. Thank you very much. That's 601 subscribers, so thank you, everybody, as well for subscribing. And yes, I was greeted to that last night when Josh told me after the IndyCar stream, and I woke up this morning, I thought it's going to be a good day, and I thought, oh dear, I'm not feeling well. So I'm battling through not feeling 100% at the moment as well. So it's comfy clothes at the moment as well to make myself feel a bit better. But we'll carry on and we'll get on with the action as well from an interesting weekend at Monza as well, because it was really a weekend where the FIA stewards were completely off the ball, as well as we've seen all season long as well. The stewards in the top of the room, the race director, the stewards themselves, they're all second guessing themselves as well. They're taking too long to make the decisions, and it's causing problems as well. I mentioned on the Grid Network last night as well that half the fandom as well saying, well, it should have been a red flag and a restart for entertainment value. The other half saying, well, and I'm on that second half that said, it's okay, we finished behind the safety car, but as soon as the safety car picked up the wrong driver and a crane was on the track in a blind part of the track, in a part where cars were still going fast, it should have been a red flag and end of the race. So there's two different halves to what we've been seeing across the weekend as well, and it has been very, very annoying. My personal opinion is that the outcome of Abu Dhabi last year is still affecting this year as well, in terms of the calls of the stewards and in terms of what penalties we get from people as well. And this was sort of the die-hard situation that they want to avoid as well. They don't want to happen again. A safety car in the closing moments of a Grand Prix. Now, yesterday, they followed the rules completely. They ran out of laps, which means that they let the field through, but they still had some lapped cars in the main train. So the race wasn't restarted. It finished under the safety car. That's the correct rule. We then had Christian Horner saying that it was the wrong thing to do, because last year they all agreed that the races should end under green flag conditions. Toto Wolff saying that they applied the rules right here in Monza, and that's what they should have done in Abu Dhabi as well 11 months ago. So it all just gets completely confusing. My opinion is, as soon as the safety car picked up the wrong driver and we had a crane in the way in a blind part of the track, the race should have been red flagged. Not for entertainment value, just for safety value as well. But we'll go through what happened in the Italian Grand Prix as well and take a look at the official results as well. If my phone actually doesn't go on TikTok and goes back to where it was, which is on the documents pages I've been given by the stewards as well. My pick a winner. And I was saying it all weekend long, even though we had a 5-place grid penalty and started as well from 7th, he eventually managed to do it, didn't he? Of course he did. Max Verstappen taking his 5th win in a row, his 11th win of the season as well, and just constantly getting faster and faster as well. 11th win of the season means that he's only 2 victories away from equaling the record by Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel of most wins in a single season. He could easily break that this season as well with 4 more wins. That's insane to think as well. Great strategy from Red Bull. They kept him out there on the medium compound tyres on the soft compound tyres for the majority of the race, then swapped to mediums as well, and the car just seems to work. They've definitely got the things absolutely 100% right there as well at Red Bull this year. Charles Leclerc in second position as well. Now, Ferrari did the correct thing. Earlier on in the race, when Sebastian Vettel retired and the virtual safety car came out, Ferrari actually did the correct thing, pitting him, putting him on an alternate strategy and trying to leapfrog Verstappen that way, because Verstappen was catching him and catching him and catching him as well. By lap 5, he was second, so there was nothing that was going to stop Verstappen from taking the lead. Ferrari tried to gamble. It didn't pay off as well, and arguably as well, they can't really be said that that's their bad decision. The only bad decision they made as well was when the safety car was out, they took another lap to come into the pit lane. That was a strategy error as well. They still haven't got the idea right of pitting the other drivers against each other as well. They seem to be doing that as well. They're asking the drivers too many questions on the radio about the strategy, as well. And do you agree with this? Do you agree with that? In my opinion as well, after yesterday, the Tifosi definitely are not happy. The head of Ferrari is not happy with Mattia Binotto in the strategy department as well. He sent a warning shot across the bow on Saturday as well, saying that Mattia Binotto could be replaced. It looks like it could be the end of the Binotto reign at Ferrari. We'll keep an eye on that as we head into a little bit of a break before we get back to Singapore. Now, George Russell, for his 8th podium in Formula 1 as well, started second on the grid, only dropped to third, Mr. Consistent again inside the top 5 in every race he's finished this year. George Russell has made this W13 work for him as well, and he is super, super impressive in that car as well. Imagine what domination we could be seeing from George Russell if this W13 actually is a race-winning car. And I'd say this as well, the development that they are getting is mainly coming from Russell. It's not coming from Hamilton, so absolutely it's a situation where Russell can win the cars. Now, Joe says as well, who takes over Ferrari? Do they look like do they look at the outside Ferrari organisation or someone already in Ferrari? In my opinion, we can't promote people inside Ferrari up because it just hasn't worked in the past. If they want somebody to come in and put fresh blood into it, it's got to be a brand new person at Ferrari. My personal pick as well might sound a bit weird, but let's get Jean Todt back in as a special advisor. And then let's see if he can do something with Mattia Binotto as well. He worked with Mattia Binotto in the Schumacher days as well. So get Jean Todt in as a special advisor. Get Ross Brawn, because he's leaving Formula 1 at the end of this year, in at Ferrari as well, and see what they can do as an advisory role as well. I would suggest, really, the best team principal to lead Ferrari is definitely going to be Mattia Binotto, because he's not responsible for the strategy department, but he needs to get better at being a team principal. He's a technical delegate that's been elevated above his role. He needs to learn the role a lot more. So bring in the advisors. I think it might work, but definitely 100% change the strategist of Lawrence Marquez as well. Get rid of him, get a new strategist in, poach them from somewhere as well, and see what we can do with the teams. Now, going further down, Carlos Sainz finished in 4th position as well. Sainz had an absolutely fantastic race. Started 18th on the grid, fought his way back up into 4th position as well. It was some do-or-die manoeuvres he was making as well during the race. It was absolutely fantastic to see. And absolutely, Carlos Sainz is almost in contention for driver of the day. Would have been driver of the day if it wasn't for Nick de Vries finishing in 9th. We'll get onto that later. Lewis Hamilton, again, another impressive drive. Started 19th, got up to 5th. His team said just before as well, between 4th and 6th position is where they expected him to finish as well. He delivered with a 5th place as well, so mighty good performance there from Hamilton. But now he's mathematically out of contention to win the title. He's 168 points back with 165 still on offer, so he is out of it. Sergio Perez finished in 6th as well. Disappointing from Perez. He only had a 10 place grid penalty, but still was too far back as well. Had a little bit of a problem in the pit stop with his brake catching fire as well, and it did damage the brakes as well throughout the rest of the race. But he too was doing some fantastic manoeuvres during the race, just like Carlos Sainz was. Lando Norris started very poorly as well. When the lights went out, he bogged down as well. The team radio we heard on the pit lane channel as well was have a very aggressive, sorry for freezing, OBS is updated as well, and it's just it's wearing in the new software. On the radio we heard Lando's engineer say, a fast, aggressive start please, Lando. He dropped the clutch too much as well, too quickly. It went into anti-stall, and it bogged down a lot as well. So it was a poor start from Lando. After that, there was a good get back up, at least for 7th place, because he did drop outside the top 10 as well. Pierre Gasly finished in 8th position as well. An interesting race for him, sort of average, but the biggest surprise of all was P9, was Nick de Vries as well. Nick de Vries in the Williams on debut, the 27-year-old as well. His first ever race in Formula 1. In FP1, he was with Aston Martin, as well as their development driver. He got the call Saturday morning as well to replace Alexander Albon, and he just shone. Practice 3, only had 20 minutes in the car. Qualifying, out-qualified Latifi by some margin as well. And then he out-raced Latifi as well. If Latifi is still in a Formula 1 seat, either the remainder of this year or next year, this Williams is ridiculous and are just cash grabbing, because that is definitely a brilliant job from de Vries. He's now 2 points back from Albon in the championship. And we've got to mention Alexander Albon as well, because it was announced today as well, some horrific news, absolutely horrific news from Alexander Albon as well, that his appendicitis, he had surgery on Saturday afternoon as well. The surgery went fantastically well as well. They removed the appendix as well, and he was on treatment as well. But sometime during Saturday evening as well, he had a reaction to the anaesthetic as well, and he went into... he had a complete chest sort of failure. Well, he couldn't breathe as well, properly as well. I can't remember. It's gone out of my head what it was now, actually, as well, what the failure was. But I've got it here somewhere from Williams as well. So a respiratory failure. There we go. Look, didn't need to look it up. It came back to me in my head. See, that's not what I'm feeling. But yeah, he had a respiratory failure as well, a complete failure. They immediately got him onto the ventilator as well. They got him stabilised as well. He spent the night in intensive care, but I'm delighted to tell you as well that Alexander Albon made fantastic progress as well. He's back on a normal ward in Italy, and he is expected to be discharged tomorrow. But considering he had a respiratory failure as well, I doubt he's going to be fit enough for Singapore. So maybe Nick de Vries will be in the car again alongside Latifi at Singapore in 2 weeks' time. I think they would rule him out on medical grounds. It's going to be a long, long time as well for Alexander Albon to get recovered, and we send him up truly wishing that his condition improves quickly, and we send him the best of support as well. Alexander Albon, one of the loveliest guys in the Formula One paddock as well. So get well soon, Alexander, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Further down then, rounding out the top 10 was Zhou Guanyu as well, only his third points-paying position of the year after Bahrain and Canada. He picked up 1 point in Bahrain, 4 points in Canada. He gets another point here today with a 10th position. Outside the points, Esteban Ocon as well had a mixed race as well. Started further back with the penalties, did get up into the top 10 for a time, then pitted and dropped back to 11th. Mick Schumacher was 12th. He was very unhappy the safety car didn't restart the race. Breathe, because my kidneys are hurting. Valtteri Bottas is 13th as well, Yuki Tsunoda 14th, Nicholas Latifi 15th, and Kevin Magnussen in 16th position. Danny Ricciardo stopped down the track as well, as we talked about, caused the safety car as well that put everybody into a spin, whether or not the race should be restarted or not. We talked about that at the beginning of the programme. But either way, the race did finish behind the safety car, and Danny Ricciardo, I think, should be looked into, because when he got out of the car as well, he climbed into the Tech Pro barrier. Where somebody had crashed into it, it would have killed him instantly. So maybe they should tell the drivers, look, don't climb in the Tech Pro area as well. It's like a kid at a bouncy castle. You don't go climbing in every part of it as well, because some parts are machinery. Further down, Fernando Alonso was out of the race, while Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll, both Aston Martins, failing to finish with an unknown problem at the moment. Sergio Perez got the fastest lap as well. Bonus point, it was a 1:24.030 as well, which is why he's got that on the board. Okay, pressing button 1. I'm going to bring that keyboard a little bit over here, actually. And press button 2 for the F2 sprint race as well. And a lot of penalties to be applied here as well. Now, for the sprint race as well, it was another exciting race, and Yuri Vips took the victory as well, his first win of the season as well. Many people were saying early on in the year, why is Yuri Vips still racing as well? He made a genuine apology, and he meant it. He's done work with charities, and he's won a race now as well, but he did bad things as well on the feature race, causing a few drivers to crash, so you give and take. Frederick Vesti was second, Jan Jeruvel in third position, Sargent was fourth, Lawson fifth, Doohan sixth, Beckman was seventh, for sure eighth, and with a penalty as well. A 5-second time penalty was added to his time as well for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Dennis Hauger ninth, Marcus Armstrong in 10th position as well, and Armstrong receiving a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining advantage as well. Sato 11th, Fittipaldi is 12th, Giotto 13th, Williams 14th, Cordial 15th, Awasa 16th with a time penalty of 5 seconds for guest leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Theo Pucci was 17th with a penalty for causing a collision as well. Out of the race was Boschong, Novalak, Drugovic, Caldwell and Calderon as well. Now at the start of the race, Ollie Caldwell and Tatiana Calderon made contact at the first chicane. That broke a bone in Tatiana Calderon's wrist, so she didn't race on the Sunday as well. Drugovic got involved in an accident as well with, I believe, that of Boschong, and that means as well that he retired in the pit lane. And because Pourchaire went off the track several times and finished in 17th in the sprint race, Felipe Drugovich did become the 2022 FIA Formula 2 champion. So that wraps that up as well. The only championship left now is for Abu Dhabi as well. The season finale in 2 months' time will be that of the team's championship. So well done to Felipe Drugovich. He is the Formula 2 champion. Now, the feature race as well on Sunday was much, much more entertaining as well. It was chaos at the start as well. Owasa, Calderon, well, let's just start actually, because Calderon didn't actually finish the race. She didn't even start because I had broken bones. So Owasa got kicked out as well after making contact with Caldwell, Boschon, Giotto and Porcher. All were out of the race to begin with as well. Sargent and Doohan made contact with each other down at turn 4. This was all on the opening lap. And then Callum Williams eventually retiring as well. So 7 cars out immediately. Only 13 finished as well. Callum Williams went into the wall as well. That brought out a red flag because of Ascari, the way it was. The tyre barrier was damaged. They had to bring a crane on to pull it back. So the red flag had to come out in the F2 as well. I'll get on to F3 later as well. But that was our second red flag of the day as well. So the F2 feature got red flagged as well. Now, car 17 as well, that is Owasa. He got disqualified for technical non-conformity as well. So he was disqualified completely from the results. Car 7 as well of Marcus Armstrong had a 10-second time penalty for failing to stay to the driver's left of the pit entry bollard. Yeah, under the safety car just before the red flag, he darted into the pit lane and cut across the bollard and was full speed into the pit's entrance as well. So rightly so, getting a penalty. And Yuri Vips as well, 10-second penalty for causing a collision. I told you he was a naughty boy as well. You can see the times then in front of you as well. We've gone through who retired, but it was Jan Jaruvula taking his first win of the year, and there go first feature win of the year. Frederick Vesti was second, so back on the podium once again. And Enzo Fittipaldi was third. Dennis Hauger fourth. David Beckman fifth. Felipe Drugovich finished the race in sixth. Cordial was seventh, getting points as well for the second week running. Good for him. Novalak eighth. Vashor ninth. Vips 10th. Sato 11th. Armstrong 12th. And Liam Lawson in 13th position. Okay. Now it gets to the funny ones as well. First of all, the best racing of the weekend as well for the Formula 3 for me. This was the best race of the weekend across it. The sprint race was fantastic. Vidales, O'Sullivan and Frederick all retired from the race early on as well. Car 27 of Brad Benediva's got a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and getting advantage. But after that, the race win time across the line was 0.432 of a second as 7 drivers came into the last round of the championship trying to get the title. Oliver Bearman, after a poor qualifying for Hadjar, Martins and all the rest of them as well, Bearman was right up there, put it P2 at the end of the race as well, and was right behind race winner Franco Colapinto. It was non-stop drama in the Formula 3 as well. So it was Colapinto winning, Bearman second, Carl Collette completed out the podium. Zane Maloney put himself fourth, which put him again in the hunt for the championship as well. A win in the feature race, and no points for Martins would have covered it. Johnny Edgar fifth, Gregory Saucy sixth, Drag Crawford seventh, Arthur Leclerc eighth, Jose Maria Marti ninth, Victor Martins round out the top 10. Then it was Kush Maney, Roman Stanek, Juan Manuel Correa, William Alatello, Ida Cohen, Federico Malvesti as well, Federico Pizzi as well. Then we get Brad Benedivez, Risa Shima, Enzo Trulli and Nazmin Azman, Laszlo Toth, Alexandro Familio as well, the debutant driver for Cheroux Racing. Hunter Yerni making his return to the championship. Alexander Smolia, Rafael Villagomez and Isaac Hadjar, the 27 cars that finished. Right, you're all ready for the messy one then. You've been waiting for this. The F3 feature race, the last race of the year for Formula 3 and the championship decider. Officially, we ran 15 laps, but the red flag came out on lap 15 as well. The only two not finished were Villagomez and Vidales. They crashed out the opening lap. That brought out the safety car. Then we went green again. The race winner officially was Zane Maloney and Oliver Bearman second. Jack Crawford third. Victor Martins did finish third, but got dropped down to fourth for a 5-second time penalty for cars 7, 1, 10, 25 and 29. That's Victor Martins, William Alatello, as well, Johnny Edgar further down as well for Franco Colapinto, Hunter Yaney as well, and Kyle Collette. Kyle Collette also getting a 10-second time penalty for more track limits. And car 21 of Hunter got another 5-second time penalty for forcing another driver off the track. That official classification was put out yesterday at 6:20. The official F1 result was published at 9:30. That's how confusing it all got. But the feature race for Formula 3 was a mess. So basically what happened, we'll go through the results and then we'll talk to you about it. Zane Maloney, Behrman, Crawford, Martins, Leclerc, the top 5, Stanek, Alatello, Edgar, Hadjar, Oshima, O'Sullivan, Cohen, Maney, Brad Benedivas, Colapinto, Pizzi, Yaney, Malvesti, Toth, Collette, Asman, Truly, Familio Correa, Frederick, Marty, Smolia and Saucy was the official 28 retired. Now, why this race was so confusing was we had 5 laps to go. Everything was looking good for a Victor Martins championship. Behrman was in second again and Zane Maloney in first. The 3 title contenders, 1, 2, 3 that were left, and they were all going for it as well. But then Kush Maney coming out of the second Lesmo, getting the car wide, span round, drifted back onto the track and got a hard hit from Brad Benedivas. He hit the wall hard and stopped instantly. 2 cars in a dangerous position with the Tech Pro damaged. 2 laps later, the red flag came out. Now, we were all thinking, okay, we're going to get like a 2-lap sprint here for the championship. This is going to be great. No, we spent 26 minutes and then the announcement came the race will not be resumed after Victor Martins got his time penalty. Now, because of that time penalty, and because then we got the 5-second time penalty, then race will not be resumed. Nobody knew what the official results were. Nobody knew. And we then spent half an hour debating in the pit lane, us trying to work it out in the commentary box as well, what the finishing order was, and who was the Formula 3 world champion. Eventually, they've got it worked out, and Victor Martins won the championship as well after getting demoted to 4th as the clock went back, not from lap 18 when the red flag came out, but back to lap 15 as well, which had a bigger gap. So when he dropped 1 position, not 5, which would put him out of title contention. So your 2022 Formula 3 champion is Victor Martins as well, after 26 minutes of going as well. And both F2 and F3 championships not getting decided out on the track, but being decided in the pit lane. First time that's ever happened. Let's hope this year's isn't decided as well, because Verstappen has an opportunity to win the title next time out in Singapore, or more likely in Japan in a month as well. Okay, that about rounds it up here then for all of the action from this Italian Grand Prix as well. My thanks to everyone for tuning in as well here. We'll be back as well. Next weekend, we've got the start of a triple header for MotoGP. It's Aragon, then it's Japan and Thailand as well. Formula 1 returns in 2 weeks' time in Singapore. Before a week later, we're off to Japan as well. Just possibly noticed a possible clash there, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Later on tonight, you can join me on the Grid Network as well for the Encore show. I'll only be sticking around for F2 and F3 to talk more about this mess as well, as I don't think I could take much more with the way I'm feeling. Half an hour stood up has pretty much done me in, so I'll go relax for a couple of hours. But thanks to all of you for joining us this weekend as well, and as always, it is a rest in peace to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away on Thursday as well. The whole weekend, everyone has been thinking about her and continuing that today here in the UK. Thanks for your company this weekend. See you next time. Bye for now.